All right, so we have Ascend the Heavens with Apodrakosis, which is a new archetype from I think it's a deck building pack, one of the collector's rare sets that comes with 3 new archetypes. Is this the one that has the Raziel in it, the rank 4s? Is that one of them? Yeah, okay. Yeah, same pack as the rank 4 spam deck. All right, we have Kaiba, Rugged Apodrakosis of Dino Crag, which is a level 10 Earth Dinosaur. 3000 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect once per turn each. You can shuffle this card from your hand into the deck, add an Apodrakosis Ascension Gate of Dino Crag from your deck to your hand. Okay, interesting search effect. Shuffling back into the deck. During the main phase, if 2 or more cards were destroyed this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can place 1 face-up Ascension Gate of Dino Crag you control on the bottom of the deck. Then target other cards on the field up to the number of types among monsters on the field. Destroy them. Okay. Seems kind of difficult to summon, but we need to see the other cards for context. Nothing crazy, but level 10 is scary because of Varudras, obviously, right? We know level 10 is now one of the few exceeds that actually still gets you an Omni-Negate. Which they seem to all be level 10. That's why I'm saying this. So we've got Yuanba, Abyssal Apodrakosis of Serpentfall, level 10 Water Sea Serpent. So searchable by Dragoons, funnily enough. You can only use the first, second, and third effect once per turn each. You can discard this card, add one of the Gates of Serpentfall from your deck to your hand. Oh, they have... Each of them have a corresponding gate? Okay, I wonder if they are meant to be played together then, or if they are more meant to go in different decks. But okay, so this one searches its own gate by discarding. This one shuffles back, this one discards. During your main phase, if 2 or more monsters other than Yuanba were sent from the hand and or deck to the graveyard this turn, you could special summon this card from your graveyard. This one summons from hand, this one summons from grave. Okay, this is already better than the first one. By a lot. Because you'll notice this one discards itself and then summons itself back from the graveyard. Whereas this one shuffles itself back from the hand into the deck. And then summons itself from the hand, which he's not there anymore, so... You can place 1 face-up Gate of Serpentfall you control on the bottom of the deck, banish your opponent's entire hand, and if you do, they draw the same number of cards. Okay. Interesting effect, I guess. I mean, you're not actually doing much. You're just... I guess you are getting rid of a bunch of cards in their hand. If they have important one-ofs in their hand, you can banish them. It could be interesting. Okay. And then we have Baba, Champion Apodrakosis of Wormhaze, which is a level 10 Wind Worm. I'm getting Dragon Ruler vibes because we're just getting different attributes, which I'm always a fan of. You can banish this card from your hand to add the Gate of Wormhaze from your deck to your hand. If a monster becomes banished face up while this card is banished, and there are currently 2 or more banished monsters other than itself, you can special summon this card. You can place a face up Gate of Wormhaze you control on the bottom of the deck to add any Apodrakosis card from your deck, graveyard, or banishment to your hand, except Baba. Okay, I think the power of these cards heavily depends on the power of these gate cards, because themselves, they don't do all that much. They don't do that much, but they make these gate cards very searchable. So we'll need to read those. Oh, they have... Why is there a pendulum ritual out of all things? Guangba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starforge, level 10 Light Dragon Ritual Pendulum. You can only use the pendulum effect once per turn. During your main phase, you can add an Apodrakosis card from your deck to your hand, except a pendulum monster. Then, oh, this is just a Rhoda. Okay, that's nice. You can ritual summon this card with Guangba. Wait. You can ritual summon this card with Guangba, Luminous Apodrakosis of Starforge. That's itself. That's its own name. Okay, must be special summoned by its own effect. You can only special summon it once per turn. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the extra deck, you contribute a level 10 Apodrakosis monster, and if you do, special summon this card. It's treated as a ritual summon, then you can destroy up to 2 cards you control, and if you do, place an equal number of Apodrakosis continuous spells from your deck face up on your field. This is a cool take, in my opinion, on a consistency card. This seems fine. Nothing too broken, it doesn't do anything crazy. But it's kind of cool, the idea that you can like use it as like a Rhoda, search whichever Apodrakosis you want, and then later on you could summon it out of the extra deck. This is cool so far, in my book. We got Apodrakosis World Creation, quick play spell. You can only use one of the first and second effect per turn, only once that turn. Add an Apodrakosis monster from your deck to your hand, then you can add an Apodrakosis pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up. So, okay, still a Rhoda. Another Rhoda. So this seems very consistent so far. During your main phase, if you control a Apodrakosis pendulum monster card, you can banish this card and one Apodrakosis from your graveyard. Special summon an Apodrakosis monster from your deck with the same type as the monster banished. Okay. You can't use both effects on the same turn, which stops this card from being completely ridiculous, I feel like, but a Rhoda on turn 1 and then a follow-up option on turn 2 is pretty nice regardless. This is neat. And this, once again, still not one of the gates. Apodrakosis Ascension Crest of Transmigration. Field spell. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. When this card resolves, take 3 monsters from your deck. A dinosaur, a sea serpent, a worm. Add one of them to your hand, banish one other, and send the last to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, worm. Okay. Can you can choose which one, right? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good field spell. And you can also, like... Now, this card is not super generic because you have to play all those types in your deck, right? But in theory, let's say you are playing a Apodrakosis deck, right? So you don't have to pick 3 Apodrakosis monsters, right? Like you can pick anything that has a good graveyard effect. Let's say you pick 2 Apodrakosis monsters and then some dinosaur with a really good graveyard effect or something. That seems pretty good. You can still, yeah, Veridras is a worm, right? This is a very powerful field spell. If you have a face-up Guangba in your extra deck, you can special summon up to 3 Apodrakosis monsters with different type. One from your deck, graveyard, and or banishment. Ooh. This card is good. This card is good. Holy shit, I didn't even read the second effect. This card's crazy. You get a search. No, you get a search, a banish from deck, like search, gold sarcophagus, and foolish burial. And then you can revive 3 if you have the Guangba in the extra deck. This card is insane. Nuts. Okay. Here we have the gates. You can only control 1, so this is the Dino Gate. Boosts Apodrakosis by 300. Apodrakosis pendulums and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type is dinosaur gain this effect. Once per turn, when the effect of a monster of the field with less attack than this card is activated, you can place a face-up Apodrakosis continuous spell on the bottom of the deck, negate the activation. Okay, so this turns your dino monster or your ritual monster into a imperm, basically. Pretty good. It doesn't negate hand traps. That's an important part, I think. But it is powerful. We have Gate of Serpent Fall. Apodrakosis cannot be destroyed by battle. Apodrakosis pendulum and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type is sea serpent gain this effect once per opponent's turn. You can place a face-up continuous spell you control to the bottom of the deck, then target 1 card on the field, return it to the hand. Okay, so this turns your serpent card into a bounce. Not bad. Only during the opponent's turn. And then we have the Worm Gate, the Wind Gate, which is any monster sent from the field to the graveyard. Oh god. During your opponent's turn is banished instead. Only from field, but that's still really good. Apodrakosis, pendulums, and level 10 or higher monsters whose original type is worm gain this effect. Once per opponent's turn, you can place a face-up continuous spell you control on the bottom of the deck, then target a face-up monster on the field, changes attack to 0. Okay, so this is not very good. This one you are going to try to protect it on the field, right? You're going to try to put it up and keep it. So this is the, what is this? This is Shen Shen's effect, right? This is Shen Shen's effect, I think. Yeah. I mean, that is good. At the same time, I feel like Shen Shen is not the craziest bit of a problem, to be honest. I don't know. It's a good effect though. But the question is, how easy is it to like establish all of these, right? Because one thing that's worth pointing out is that you can, it seems like you can very easily search these gate cards, right? You can very easily search these gate cards, but the gate cards themselves don't really start anything, right? This deck seems really clunky, even though you have, if you have the field spell, I think it's relatively easy to set up. But if you do not have the, if you don't have the field spell, I don't think you can search it, because the spell card adds Apodrakosis monsters. Actually, this guy searches the field spell. This guy searches the field spell, yeah. And this guy should be searchable because it's a light, it's a dragon ritual, right? There should be searching for power for this. I know it does remind me a little bit of Rescue Ace. It does remind me a little bit of Rescue Ace. Because you like set up these continuous cards. I don't know. It's hard to evaluate this because it's definitely not bad. But it remains to be seen how easily you can actually set up all this stuff, right? Could you ash the field spell? Yes, you can ash the field spell because it sends one from deck to grave. You can ash the field spell. That's another thing, like how easily does this deck set up if your field spell gets interrupted, right? Like if it's ashed or something. I kind of like it though. It feels cool to me. It feels like a cool archetype. I don't hate it. The only thing, literally the only thing that I didn't like was the very last card being like a this effect on the last card kind of threw me off. Everything else I felt like was pretty cool up until that point. But even this part, like this card is not as broken as you might think. Because like it's basically Shen Shen, and Shen Shen, I mean, most decks don't lose to Shen Shen these days, right? Like the fact that stuff that from your hand or from the deck can still go to the graveyard. And it also is only monsters, not spell traps. I feel like it's it'd be possible. The field spell searches Protoss, so I don't want Protoss to be around when we get these cards, because this seems like a kind of deck that can very easily Protoss, but yeah. I wonder if they're gonna give us one for every attribute eventually, or if it's gonna be I mean, I guess it's gonna be, I guess they won't, because it's already kind of limited to Dragon, Dinosaur, Sea Serpent, and Worm. It'd be weird to extend it now, right? If you already have locks to those four. It feels very much like it's gonna stay with those three types and attributes, right? Which is fine, I guess. No, I don't hate it. I think it's cool. It looks, at least thematically, maybe it's because I was such a big fan of Dragon Rulers. I always like when it's like, when when one archetype does not consist of like all the same type or all the same attribute, where every single card has like the same style to it, you know, like a Fire Fist kind of thing, where every single monster is just a different kind of fire dude, you know. I like when they have different flavors, different styles to the same, you know, archetype. But yeah, no, these are neat. It remains to be seen how good they're gonna be, but I like them.